go back to the Shara Kavanot with his hanging of tefillin. The last time he talked about these three Akyas and the fact that are well, we'll see there's three Akyas and one Adni. Let's see, he's going to go into it more. He said, "V'hine kol elo shlosha shemush al Akya." I'm reading across the top now. So it says it's actually the Kasser. And then so corresponding, there's one Ekia, which is a Milu Yudin, Shibamuach Rishon and Nikrachachma. So it has that Ekia like that. Yesh Sham Havaya b'Milu Isag, or maybe a Shem Havaya b'Milu Isag. So the two of them are going together. Sheyesh Bo Shlosha Yudin, which has three Yudin in it. As we know, he doesn't develop this idea, just a fact. Kamoshiyesh Shlosha Yudin b'Shem Agi the Yudin and Nizkar. So he says there's also these two. There's these two items. He said v'zucha b'Havaya he b'Shevet Hachtonis shebachach mezos. So he wants to say this chachma with this move of chachma is 10 spheros, and so you have this keser. Let's see what we have this Akya, Milu Yudin, and the Sag. The Naas is Malbush El Shem Akya the Yudin Haniska, so it makes a Malbush for this. Ki Yihu Neshama Allah, because it becomes a Panimi to it, or a Neshama to it. Because it's the aspect of its gar. So previously it said something. Well, let's see. We'll go on. Shame Akia the Milui Alofen. So this Akia the Milui Alofen, is Kasser Shivamuach. It's the Kasser the Moach. Hanik Rabina Dizah, which is called the Bina Azer Anpin. Behin the Shama Al Shem Avaya the Milui Alofen, and it's in the Shama to the Chavaya to the Milui Alofen. Asher B'Sham B'Shevet Hachton Shabal. Avacha B'Shem Adni, but Adni is now he left one out. We just mentioned two of them. So he said, "V'Shem Adni b'Melua." When you take the name Adni, you make it in the Milui. U'B'Malchus Shu Keneged B'Hoyim Shemoa. That goes with that parak B'Hoyim Shemoa. Ve'Hi Lo Hislavshus Acher B'Madli Hislavish. There's nothing for it to be Mislavish with. Kamo Acherim Kenizkar, like the other ones. There's no Zat. Baal Kain, therefore, the tefillah shal yad, when we come to the tefillah shal yad, now he's talking about just specifically on the tradition shal yad, the Kavan ba'arba parshiyos sachlo. You think like this, that the tefillah shal yad has these four parshiyos in it. El arba b'shemus achirim and iskarim on the other four names that we mentioned, shehem chavaya the sag, b'dema, b'deben, b'shem adni b'milui. So now this last part that he's talking about, where he switched over to talking about the Tefillin Shal Yad, I think it needs a little bit of explanation. So let's come over here and look at the Tiva Kavanos. There's also some things in the Shefa Kavanos if we have the time. So he says, number Lamed Hey, he says, Kol Elo Shlosha Shemo Shal Akia B'Meluam. So we mentioned them. There's Kasa, Kamag, and Connor. Hey, but Bechinis spheres of Kasser. They're all aspects of Kasser. Now he says that let's just say that's what he's saying. Shaha Arba Parashas Halaluchom Malzech of Ma'arba of Babak Sheyesh Dezer Anpin. Kol Muach Merem Mischalek Le'es Spheros. V'ha Kasser Shal Osa HaMuach Hu Shem Ekye Echad B'Milui. So the Kasser of that Muach, the top part of it is this. So when we correspond this and we say the Akya, the Milui Yudin, Shukul Pekasser Shal Muach Rishon and Nikra Chochma, Harom is the Parsha Rishona, which is about the Parsha Rishona. But Muach Rishon and Nikra Chochma, now we're talking about the first Muach now. 10 spheros are 10 parts of this spheros, I guess, in the Chochma. Yesh Gam Shem Havai B'Milui Sag. So in this place, in this top place, in this Chochma, it has two different components. One is this Ekya Milui Yudin, the other one is the Havaya of Milui Sag. B'Hu Keneged Shem Ekya B'Milui Yudin, and it corresponds to that. B'Shem B'Vaya the Milui Sag is that. So now he points out this fact. It has 3 Yuds in it. Sag Kazet Yud K Vav K Yesh Bo Shlosha Yudin. So this apparently important. V'shem B'Vayad the Sag Makbil Keneged Shem Ekid the Yudin. So this Shab it really corresponds. Or Makbil means it's like it's opposite it. Kamosha B'Shem Ekid the Yudin Shuhu Aleph, and then he shows the Yud K Vav. He shows the Shri Yudin. Yesh Bo Shlosh Yudim came by the Sag Shlosha Yudin. So he wants to say that they match there in some way. There's a rhyme between these Yudin. Now he says, now there was a little Dalit. If we have time, I'd like to go back and look at that. So, well, maybe we could just look at it. Number Dalit goes on this phrase, V'zuha Vayiki B'Shevet Hachtanis B'Shebachoch Mezais. Let's see if I get this in here better. Okay, so he said, so let's just go to the Tiv and see what he says. He says, Shanino Chacha B'Divra Harav, Shachazadne Krayim Malvush, Vachagarne Krayim Neshama. And that is, of course, this idea we see everywhere. Ve'efsha the Parsha Inyam Begamachofana, but there's a bunch of different ways to look at this. Ovi. You can look at it in Ovi, one inside the next. So he said the Chabad. Now notice that he didn't mention the word Chabad up above. He talked about Kesser. They are surrounded al Chabad b'Shavet. So now he says that look at it in Ovi. It's not like one starts at the Chaza. It's like they're exactly equal, but one is on the outside, one's on the inside. So the other one is in relativity. Shagar came the Malav, came the Equine, the Shamba, the Gar is up above. If you're looking at it vertically now, Kamosha and the Shamba keep a Moach, just like the Shamba is in the Moach. So Kamosha and the Shamba keep a Moach. Arko Chazad Nekra Goof Umalbush. So that would be the Gar would be called the Moach or the high part, whatever it is. And then related to that, there's going to be a body, which would be a lower part. Because that's another way to look at it. So that's another way. Vashlishi Husha Ekya Hanam Maskil Mahagar, Mispashet Besof called the Gof. So it goes everywhere. Havaya, but now the Havaya that we're talking about, let's say the Sag, we're talking about that one. Maschila Meraguf, it begins from the body, so that's where the body, Shuhazat, but the Reina Ekya, who befnim, so therefore that leaves the Ekya on the inside because it runs all the way through. But the Zat doesn't start all at the top, it starts only at the goof. So he says, Amna Madaya Divik of Rab Srichan Iyun. Shahavi Techila Kosev Shem Ekya who Bekasser. But La'achar Kosev Hamikan Kosev Shu Begar. So which is it? V'od Sark Bir Laman is Kavan the Rav Rav Shekasev Gar, when he said the Gar, does it mean the Gar along with the that is the Gar means Ima Keser Chochma Bin, along with Keser you have also the Kochof. Oh Shema the Chochma Bin the Da, so maybe it means that way, which is the way that we usually see it. Okay. Let's see if I'm recording. Okay, so now let's go back up. We just saw some of the simple questions of the TIF. I think we're at Mem Gimel now. I'm not sure. So he said, the fact that it's located, well, let's say he said it was the goof. So he na'asis labush. So therefore it becomes a lavush. So you could add it up any of the ways that he said it. The shame akid the milu yudin shulhum bekaser shel chochma. So then he goes on. He said, "V'kevin sheshem akid the milu yudin hun neshama the shame b'vayad the milu isag." So he said when he started with Kavan, it should have a little bit of Shahare Eki and the Milu Yudin, who b'shlosha spheres Rishonas the Chochma. So that refers to the Gar of Chochma. The Shlosh Rishonas the Rishon of the Chochma, but the Chayin Kum Na'asa the Shama, the Shem B'Vayin the Milu Isag, shehu rak b'zad the. So now you have that concept. So v'chein parsha hashniya shehu b'parshas v'hoya kibiyacha sheyesh b'cha anki d'milu elofin he b'bechinas hakaser shebemocha b'ina d'zad. This is the kaser of the bina of zad. So he said the Akyas the Milui Alofim. So the Akyas of the Milui Alofim, who Naasa Rebechin the Shama, Hashem Bavaya the Milui Alofim in regard to the Havaya the Milui Alofim. So Shazu Havaya the Milui Alofim, who Bezat Shalom Mocha Rabina. This is in the Zayin Tachtanis of that. V'Akyas the Milui Alofim. So this Akyas Milui Alofim. Who bekaser shall muachabina? It's in the kaser the muachabina. But who naas and the shama the shema via the milui alof, and it becomes a chavayo. Excuse me, a neshama. It's benimi to it. But the kaven shuhu b'mala yosef b'shema via. So since it's in a higher level, the naas shem akia the milui alof, and the shama the shema via the milui alof, and so therefore that's how they work. You have a labush and you have a benimi. Now he skipped the last one, the one that has to do with Ben. He skipped it. And then he said, but when you come to Adni in a Milui form, just 1 second, let me just check something here. Okay. So he says, which is in the Muach of the Gavuras Das Dazan. Remember, notice he skipped the one that has to do with the Chasadim of Das. Who Nikra Malchus, Shaharech Gavuros, Tikun Hanuk, because why? Ultimately, the Gavuros go to the Nuk, and so therefore we consider it to be Malchus, and then Malchus Nuk, and that's it. Muach Gavuros to Das the Zach, and Ramas B'Shem Adi B'Malua, so the Muach of the Gavuros of Das, which go along with the Adni B'Malua, who B'Parsha Reviya Shuhu B'Hoyim Shemoa. So that's where it's located, and let's see what else we can understand from this. So he says this. This name Adni, if you take it in the Milui, Ein lo shem achel his lavish bo, it's by itself. Why? Kfi shuhu b'mochin l'chevim. Now, so he said, let me see if I got that right. Ein lo shem acher his lavish bo. Kfi shuhu b'mochin acherim, because it comes from other mochin. What does that mean? Behind the shemuach hachochma, who eke the yudav in this lavish b'fa'ay the sak. The muach habida who b'shem eke b'milui alofim in this lavish b'fa'ay b'milui alofim. Now, so like I said, he skipped the third one, but he says Shem Adni b'melua ein lo shem his lavish bo. He doesn't have anything to clothe itself in, so it's bare. The chaim but tefillin shal yad. So therefore, I don't see this flow exactly how this is going. So he says, so therefore it's bare. So let's go over to the tefillin shal yad. So this is the Kavanot that when you're putting on apparently the hand tefillin, should have in mind the zat shalamoch. In other words, he should go over the Havayas. That's your idea when you're doing this. Because it refers to the motion of the nok, shehem biyad, which are what? On the hand. I don't think I understand that. Maybe I translate it wrong. He said, "V'kevin shetefilin sheyad meramaz in the mochim shalanok." Okay, so then the mochim of the nuk, shehem b'yad, which is on the hand, or sometimes he means at the arm. The chem hem zat shal hamochim. So therefore, since they represent the nuk, so therefore they will represent the zat shal hamochim. I don't really quite hear that. So let me see. So let's see how Ramazan the Arba Parshas shall tefillin. So the four mochin are in. We're now looking at the hand tefillin. We're saying that the putting on the hand tefillin is the we recognize the Arba Parshas of the tefillin, which represents the four mochin. So he says you take the other name. That way he means he names not the Akyas, but the Havayas. So he says, "When Parsha Rishona shall tefillin shall yad he Parshas Kadesh." Shehu Muach HaChochma Tekavit B'Ravai the Milui Sad. We should have in mind Havaya over there of the Milui Sad. V'hi Kamo B'Chinas Hazat the Muach HaChochma the Tefillin. So this is like this is the Zat of the Chochma Tefillin Shalosh. Of a Parsha of Shniya Shal Tefillin Shal Yad. Shehi Parsha V'Hoya Kibiyacho. He says V'hi Muach Habina Tekavit B'Ravai the Ma. V'hi Kamo B'Chinas Hazat the Muach Bina the Tefillin Shal Rosh. Now, so in answer to my question, he seems to be saying that the nook is a lavush or something like that. He said because this is bechinas zat the muach bina tefillin shel rosh of a muach hachasad the das tefillin shel yad shu b'parsha shema the kavet b'chavai the milui ben. Now here the tiv brings out all three of the Akyas of a parsha revius shu parsha v'hoyim shemo. And now here this is what was the point. Shehi Meguvanas Keneged B'Muach HaGavuras Dadas. So this is directed towards the Muach HaGavuras Dadas. So what happens then? The Kavein B'Shem Adni B'Malua. So then now you start thinking about Adni. Kevish B'Parsha Revias the Tefillin Sharosh Ein Sham His Lav Shel B'Shem Havayas. So then he's just telling you the rule here. V'Lechein Kol Hasvira Shel Muach HaGavuras V'Chafidah Chazat Shebo. So therefore, all of the Adni that we're dealing with, the B'Shem Havai in that Milui form, Shel Muach HaGavur V'Chafidah Chazat Shebo, Heim Shem Adni. Everything is an Adni there. V'Lechein Gam B'Tefillin Shel Yad B'Parsha Revius. So also when you think of that, you cover B'Shem Adni B'Maloi. So he says that when you put on I think that what he said is that when you put on the arm tefillin, you should have in mind the four parshios, but you had the milui of the Havayas along with them, plus that would be three of the mochin, and then the final mochin, which is the moch of Gavur Dadas, that one would be Adni. That would be what your kavanah that you should have. So if we can remember that, well, that's a kavanah. Okay, I guess that's it. That's Baruch here. Have a great day.